It's a joy, it's a pleasure to be reaching out to you another day where we'll be speaking on the topic of alchemy. It's whereby we're going to discuss how we can create our reality consciously and how we can definitely discover that our real identity is our divinity. So let me say again a pleasant day to you. And the thing that is most needed in this world is knowing or discovering who you are. That is why I want to speak about biblical, mental, financial alchemy. I want to teach you how the mind correlates with the Bible and finances. How the Bible is a book of alchemy. How also the Bible is a magical and financial manual. And how your mind correlates with it. That is why if you happen to grow up in a colony, you grow up in a country whereby most of the people have no concept of money, they have no concept of alchemy, they have no concept of the mind, and they have no concept of the Bible as a book of mind science. Once you grow up in a society like that, there'll be a lot of things that will be lacking in your life. Okay? Because you would be trained and programmed to look on the outside for someone to come and save you, or someone to come and deliver you. But all saving and delivering comes from the cause. And so you are the cause of everything that's happening in your life. Therefore, the effects are only the manifestation based on your inner conversation. So we are living in a world whereby we cannot live without some form of financial competence or having the right understanding of how to use our minds in this mental construct. And so many of us from a very young age, we were given the Bible. But we were never taught that it must be interpreted on a psychological level. We were never taught that it must be interpreted on a metaphysical level or on an esoteric level. We were never taught that this is a manual for living. And so most people get caught up looking on the outside and fail to realize that everything takes place within. So the results that you're getting in your life will tell a story of what is happening to you inwardly. And if you are actually applying the inner science or the inner working of alchemy, because this alchemy of which I speak is mental alchemy. So the entire Bible is teaching you about mental alchemy. And mental alchemy and financial alchemy is the same science. So when you understand the science of mind and you realize that you can use the mind to heal yourself, then you will know that you will need a financial healing. You know also that you need a mental healing. You need some sort of mind cure. You see, all this suffering that is taking place on this planet, it is happening mentally, psychologically. But most people believe that it is something that is happening on the outside. And they miss the fact that everything is the expression of a thought. Everything that is happening around you, it is all the expression of the mind, showing us that we are here in a mental construct. And so you have to always think the other way around. For example, if you were taught a certain way and you were taught never to question that way, then you start to question that way. If you were taught a certain way and you were told that that is the only way, then you have to start to question that way. If you were taught a certain way and you're told that that way is the only truth there is and there's no other truth, you have to start to question that way. Because not until you start to question and you start to seek and you start to search that you would realize that this world that we live in is like a prison. And it's like a prison for your mind. So many systems are set up and they are competing for your mind to make you a willing participant to give of your energy unconsciously. However, those of us who understand energy, vibration, and frequency, and we understand mental alchemy, and we realize that it is our own thoughts that creates our reality and creates our personality, we do not look outwardly. We look inwardly. We do not hold to false identity because we know our true identity. And we know our true identity to be our divinity. We are divine beings and we are having a human experience. That is why to us, the Bible is mind science. To us, the Bible is a financial book. To us, the Bible is a magic book. To us, it's mind science. To us, it's a manual for living. And so we do not get caught up in the dogmas and the creeds and the different beliefs and arguments. No, we live by example. What is the example? We take the things that we desire in this physical three-dimensional world. We take it into the world of the non-physical. We go into the world of the formless. How do we do it? We do it through meditation. We do it through visualization. We do it by going into the place of stillness where we are told to be still and know. The only how you can know your God self, the only how you can know your creator self, you have to practice the silence. What do I mean by that? The stillness. You have to go into that place of consciousness. You have to go into that place of quiet. That place where you can listen to the breath of life. That place whereby you're just an inhalation and an exhalation. And that is a transaction. That in itself is the very first walking of alchemy. For example, when you read in the scripture that God breathed the breath of life into man, and man became, that is your first economic lesson. That is the first lesson about money. It's the first lesson about the art of exchange. It is the first lesson of your economy. It is the first lesson of your ecology. It is the first lesson of how you are to transmute your energy into the equivalent of whatsoever you desire, because you know who you are. That's the reason why when the question was asked concerning identity, because after you come in to this experience and you experience the Exodus, having been kept in a basket, surrounded by water in your mother's womb, and you experience an Exodus that brings you into this three-dimensional physical world, you ask yourself the question, who am I? If you're here, listen to me, and you've never asked yourself the question, who am I? Well, then I'm telling you, now is the right time to ask yourself, who am I? And then you would realize that you are here searching for yourself. And you will only ask that question, who am I, in your mind, because all is mind. And then when you check the book of mind science or the manual for living, you'll find the same question I've been asked, who am I? In one place it says, who do men say I, the Son of Man, am? And in another place it says, what is the name? What is your name? Tell me what is your name that I may tell the people that I'm going to. Who sent me? Well, I'm saying to you, the one who sent you and you are one. The sent and the sender are one. The healed and the healer are one. The perception and the perceiver are one. But for you to understand that, you have to understand how the mind and your spiritual essence work together. That is why I'm saying to you that you must become a mental, biblical, financial alchemist. It means that you have to use this manual of life to navigate your financial ability by learning how to use your creativity for the advancement and the upliftment of all of humanity, how to inspire, how to uplift, how to motivate, how to help others, how to bring light to others, how to bring the answers that others are seeking to them. The reason why many people end up in religion is because they have many questions and they're looking for answers, not knowing that the answer is right within themselves, not knowing what they're searching for is themselves, not knowing that they have lost their identity in order to have this human experience. And so you're searching to remember what everyone on this earth is longing for. They're longing to remember. Because when you remember who you are, you will know how to use that power that has been lying dormant within you. That power at the base of your spine, that's in the form of a coiled serpent. It wants to release itself. Many times, it releases itself to you in dreams and visions. And you will find yourself running from this serpent. That is you running from yourself. You find yourself running from this vicious animal. Whether it's a dog, a lion, you name it, whatsoever you're running from in your dream. Because you are the dreamer in the dream. The dreamer and the dream are one. And you dream you're running. Because you have a perception of this serpentine energy. And so you read of Moses turning his rod into a serpent. But if you fail to realize the importance of your backbone, and you fail to realize the importance of the base of your spine to the crown of your head, and the intelligence that lies there, if you fail to realize it, then you'd read the Bible as a book of history. You think it is historical events that would have taken place and all thousands of years ago, and you would think that you are a human, and then you're trying to be spiritual, and you're missing the lessons of life. And the reason why you're missing these lessons of life, it is because you lack the understanding of self. It is because you lack the understanding of your invisible self. So every time I speak about alchemy, it is because I'm directing you to look inwardly to discover your invisible self. You see, when it comes to your invisible self, there's only now. There isn't any yesterday. There isn't any tomorrow. There's only now. That is why when you visualize and you actualize, you do it in the present tense. You do it in the now. You want to be a millionaire, you got to be a millionaire now. You want to see $150,000 in your bank account, you have to see it in the now. You want to see yourself living in Beverly Hills, or you want to see yourself living any part of the world, you want to see yourself living, having lands there, having home there, you have to see it in the now. You want to make a certain amount of money per year, you have to see it in the now. You want to learn a certain job, you have to see it in the now. Why? Because you are the producer, you are the director, you are the actor, you are the one who's writing the script. So you have a financial, spiritual script that you must write. And it is all mental. And you will find that script in the Bible, because it is a scripted book that has also been encoded. And so you have to understand the code by decoding it and match the frequency to whatsoever you would like to express into your reality, because it is a book of frequency. It's a book of vibration. It is, as I said earlier, a book of alchemy. It is an occultist book. It is not a book for people who are a part of cults. Though the churches and the religions of the world use the Bible as a cult book with the mystics and the wise ones, we know that it is an occultic book, okay? And it must be used in the occultic ways to be able to understand its financial powers, its metaphysical powers, its esoteric powers, its alchemical powers. Okay, that's why you're told that you must call those things that be not. Now, if you're going to call something that isn't, you have to first have a burning desire. So what is it that you want in this world? What is it that you would like to alchemize? What is it you would like to see express into your reality? It is your birthright. It's not pseudoscience. It's not you joining some fraternity or joining some secret brotherhood. It is something that is already inside of you. But unless you're willing to unlearn and relearn and reprogram your subconscious mind, be open-minded, you will never realize that all you've been seeking for all these years is right within you. You'll never discover that you're living alchemist. You see, because we're living in an information age, many people fail to realize that this is the age of the flood. You see, from the moment www was introduced to this world, the flood has started. An information age where many people have been overwhelmed and overflooded with information because they love information. They love to be intellectual and they hate simplicity. That is why they miss the fact that the Bible is teaching you to look inwardly and not outwardly, and to think financially and not materialistically, because money or finance is a representation of your inner currency, and you use your inner currency to trade in this economical world of alchemy. So I'm speaking about the mental world. I'm speaking about the spiritual world. And I'm doing this to show you that the mental and spiritual world is an expression of what you're seeing in the physical three-dimensional world. So whatever you're seeing in the three-dimensional physical world is not the real thing. That is only the shadow. But you have to seek the reality. That's why I'm saying, if you're going to find the reality, you have to look inwardly. Right there, I'm teaching you the law of cause and effect. So, your salary, or how much you earn in monthly, is a reflection of your psyche. Is a reflection of your currency. For example, all around the world, there are different currencies, and the different currencies carry different value. It's the same thing with you, based on your vibration and your frequency. For example, people who have millionaire mentality, they are on a certain frequency. People who have billionaire mentality, they are on a certain frequency. People who know that money is energy, they are on a certain frequency and really believe it. I want to speak about knowing. I'm speaking about experiential knowing. Because the only true knowing there is experience. So when you experience that the Bible is mental, you'll know that it is also financial. And you'll also know that you have the power to command whatsoever you desire into your world. Because you must become the conscious creator. You must become the builder and the thinker. That's why you have a hand. That is represent that you're supposed to be a builder, a constructor. And you have a mind, which represents thinking. It's a kingdom of creativity. It's a kingdom of ability. And so when you read in the book of Mind Science of a creator, you have to see the mental aspect of itself. Because the mental aspect of yourself is used in its highest capacity when you know that your real identity is your divinity. Because you will connect the dots inwardly and not outwardly. So the things will be happening in your life outwardly, but you see and blind. You hear and deaf. You don't judge yourself based on the results you're seeing on the outside. Let me explain that for you a little bit more so you understand me. For example, before we could have gotten the many uses of the electricity, the man who was walking behind this whole thing about electricity, I think it was first Thomas Edison, right? And then Benjamin Franklin afterwards, okay? But there were many, what we would call trial and error, or what some people might think is failure, which is not failure. So let's say there was 2,000 attempts. These 2,000 attempts was 2,000 ways of how not to do it. Then the way came when a melanated man came up with the invention of the filament that can go in the bulb and hold the bulb there, and it wouldn't burn out so easily. Well, before that could have become a reality to all of humanity, there must have been the inner working of the science of alchemy. That is why if you understand the Bible from an alchemical standpoint, as a book of alchemy, you will become the lender and not the borrower. You'll be above and not beneath. You'll be the lender. Now, when I look around in my society and I see the people who are mostly the lenders and not the borrowers, the people who seems to be above and not beneath, the people who are supposed to be more financially capable in my society, most of them do not have any religious mentality. They are more quiet, cool, calm, collective people. And the reason for that, because they're focusing their energy on being the best version of themselves. They're focusing their energy on expressing their ability, their uniqueness, exercising their power. And that is what is speaking for them. So action always speak louder than words. So if you trapped in a religion and you thinking some man gonna come and save you, you'll be speaking that all the rest of your life. But there wouldn't be no any action to prove that. Because for you to believe someone is gonna come to save you, it is you using your imagination and thinking that someone gonna come on the outside and fail to realize that the one that you're looking for, you have to imagine that one, which means your imagination is greater than anything on the outside, because everything has to first be imagined. It has to first be a thought, it has to first be an idea. So anything you believe outside of yourself is idolatry, and it is trapping you financially, and it is hurting you mentally, and it is blocking you using alchemy, because you're blocking your alchemist power when you do not know who you are and you're looking for outside savior. So my brother, my sisters, once you understand that the Bible is a magic book, you won't go live in your life, the rest of your life, from paycheck to paycheck. And the reason for that is because you will discover things lying dormant within you for so long. You will discover so much potential within yourself. You would realize that the omnipotence, omniscience, and the omnipresence of God is all describing a part of you that you haven't introduced yourself to, but it is the real you, which is the invisible you. Everything that is said about God You can do it in your imagination. You can walk on water in your imagination. You could turn water into wine in your imagination. You can fly in your imagination. You can appear and disappear in your imagination. You can leave an empty tomb in your imagination. You can do all things in your imagination, because the power of God in man is man's awareness of being, man's imagination. Well, that is the power you use to alchemize. So when it comes to alchemy, everyone has been given the book of alchemy. That is why many people, they give the book to you freely. And you have it in your house, and you're reading it, and you think it is literal, and you think it is secular history, and you think that there was a special man who existed thousands of years ago who was magical and who was doing miracles. And so you get checked with the word miracles and the word magic. And so when people like me speaking about the Bible being a book of magic, and you being magical, and you walking in the art of magic, using your mind power to achieve your every desire, someone who would have confirmed would think that magic is something evil. They would think that it's something that is satanic. They would think that it's something that is demonic, while they are using magic in the churches every single minute, every single hour. But they're using a weak form of magic. But in spite of that, because there's so many of them that have this kind of mindset, it adds up, because unity is strength. So every part of the world that you go, there is religion. And wherever there is religious minds, there would be the lack of the conscious use of alchemy, which means very few people would know that their real identity is their divinity. And that is what makes it so powerful, that very few could rule over many. But it's never too late for you to take back your power by understanding that the Bible is a manual for living, for prosperous living, financial living, fearless living. That's why the clergy use it and interpret it to bring fear upon you. But when you understand it from a metaphysical standpoint, from a mental and psychological standpoint, when you understand it from a financial standpoint, you would know that you have to use it to free yourself. That's why you're told that if you're poor, you must say that you're rich. And if you're weak, you must say you're strong. Well, there are people who are financially strong. Yeah, the people who own social media, they are financially strong. The people who own the electricity companies all around the world, they're financially strong. The water system, the political system, all of these systems, they are financially strong. Well, if they are financially strong, what makes them financially strong? It is their mind. There's no other power in this world. There's only one power, and it is mind power. What do they know that you do not know? What does the 1% know that you do not know? They know who they are. They know the power that they possess. And they know when someone is awakened. They know when someone is truly enlightened. They know when someone would have truly had an experience. They know. But we are living in a time where people are on the internet and all they're thinking about is a buck. So they will tell you anything because they're making money from it. People fail to realize that many influencers, they don't care about you. They care about playing the game and profiting from playing the game. While on the other hand, I'm saying to you, learn to play the game. Are you going to get played by the game? And I'm saying to you that the first game that was used to play you is the game whereby they were pointing you to look on the outside for someone to save you. And so from a very, very, very young age, your subconscious mind have been infiltrated. And you believe you come in this world to work and toil hard and then reach retirement age. And you live your life whereby you eat, sleep, shit. And you start over again and you repeat that over and over again. And like life had no purpose and no meaning. But I'm saying to you, there is meaning when you understand who you are. There is meaning when you realize that you came here to learn, to live in this realm and to live in the other realm, and to know that you came from the non-physical realm to experience the physical realm, and you have to die in the non-physical realm through amnesia. So death is a state of amnesia, a state of forgetfulness. So you have to lay down all of your divinity, lay down all of your powers in order to have this experience over here. You want to experience sex in the physical? You have to lay down your life in the spiritual. And it had to happen as a dream. And one day you will wake out of the dream. And when you wake out of the dream and you tell your brothers your story, they'll say blasphemy. But nevertheless, you continue to teach your brothers and sisters to look inwardly and to use their mentality to live financially capable and to be financially strong by having the right concept of themselves and the right concept of money. Always see it as energy. Don't think it is as real as they want you to believe. It's all imaginary. We're living in an imaginary world. All the bombs and the guns, they are imaginary. Many people are afraid of atomic power, but it's imaginary. So the creator is always greater than the creation. And that's why I'm saying to you, you have to understand biblical alchemy by understanding that the Bible is a book of alchemy. You see, when you read about alchemy, you're reading about turning lead into gold and you look at it as literal, but it's not literal. It is metaphysical. It is mental. It is you turning your thoughts, your desires into the equivalent of what you want to experience in this three-dimensional physical world. It is you knowing that you are the Lord and Master of your destiny. It is you knowing that it is your own thoughts that creates your reality and creates your personality. It is you knowing that money is a reflection of your psyche. Millionaire have millionaire psyche. Our millionaire minds, billionaire have billionaire minds. Rapists have a rapist mind. It all goes back to the mind. So there are billions of mind, yet it is still one mind. But this one mind could be converted into many different forms and shapes. And that is why AI is a mind, but it's an artificial mind. And so when you take this original mind and you connect it to an artificial mind, it's just another way of giving your mind away. But it doesn't mean that you mustn't use AI. Okay, because someone commented on a video and was trying to say I'm saying you shouldn't use AI. So they were saying I shouldn't use AI in no form or no way. I'm not saying that. There's a difference in you having a bank account and you are saving a certain amount of money there in your bank account, and there's another person who's going to the bank to borrow. So there's a difference in borrowing and a difference in saving. So you can use the bank, but you do not have to allow the bank to use you, because the bank is already profiting from you saving there. They're already taking your money and buying stocks and all of these things with your money and making so much more money off your money, while they're just giving you a little thing, okay, called inches. But nevertheless, because you understand how to play the game, you play the game that way. But when you go into debt with a bunch of mortgages and loans, those are yokes you're carrying around your necks. So that is you allowing the system to use you instead of you using the system. So in this AI age, you would definitely need to use AI, but you will not allow AI to take you over completely and drown you in this flood. Okay, this information flood. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So my brother, my sisters, I know every one of you who listening to me, you have come across the Bible at one point in time in your life or something like that. You have a Bible in your house. But I'm saying to you, every person on this planet have been given a magic book. But you have to learn how to use it. Because everything that is written in it is all about you. And even those books that they refuse to include, that they remove, that you can still go in Ethiopia and you find those books, they all goes back to the mind. Because it doesn't matter which angle you take things from, it will always come back to mind science. It will always come back to the law of polarity. It will always come back to the law of correspondence, the law of cause and effect, the law of mentalism. Those laws are immutable laws. Those must be a foundation. So as long as you have a strong foundation, you would know that it doesn't make sense that you have a book in your house and you're reading that book and thinking that it is to make you become religious or superstitious. No, it is to get you to think, because there are some things there that doesn't make sense and some things there that seems to be very much impossible, and you have to ask yourself the question, what do these things really mean? How can I unfold or unveil these things? How could I take this book and get a full understanding of it from start to finish? I can guarantee you, whenever you do, finances will follow you wherever you go. Money will follow you wherever you go. I can guarantee you that. Because when it comes to the mind, finances, alchemy, and the Bible, once you are in alignment, the abundance must flow in your life. It is law. And when one door closes, another door is going to open. And when another door closes, another door is going to open. Why? Because you're thinking beyond the masses. You're not thinking for the very first time for yourself. You're thinking from another angle, from what your parents and your parents would have taught you. You're now taking measures in your hand. You're now taking responsibility. you're now taking accountability for your life. And that is when you start to really understand your divinity and your humanity. And you're not putting the cart before the horse. You understand your divinity was before your human experience. You're not trapping yourself in this body. So, my brother, my sisters, as I come, you know, to the end of this master class, because I consider this as a master class, okay, and biblical, mental, financial alchemy. My main point that I want to get across to you is that you must learn to understand the Bible from an angle of energy, vibration, and frequency. Let me run that again. Get to understand the Bible from an angle of energy, vibration, and frequency. And then that will allow you to understand that there's always an inner science of alchemy. A man turn water into wine, that's alchemy. If you, for example, have a kettle at home, I would just put water in that kettle and plug it in, the electricity, turn it on, and then the water will build up to a certain pressure. And when it reach a certain pressure, it changes. That's when it starts to boil. It reached boiling point. Once it reached boiling point, they have to boil. And when it indicates to the kettle, it reached to that point, and it gives a click. It's the same thing with you discovering that you are asleep and you now awake from the dream of life. It's alchemy. It is taking place every single moment in your life. But for most people, it's happening unconsciously. The reason why we are using money in this world is because of people who are alchemists. The reason why we are using electricity, all science, all technology, it is because of the inner working of alchemy. It's an inner science. And that's the science I'm introducing you to. That is written in the Bible. It has nothing to do with any man who existed thousands of years ago, or to any actual event that took taking place on earth thousands of years ago. It's all mind science. And in this day and age, science and spirituality are now coming together to prove these things, that everything exists in consciousness. That is why you have to practice mindful breathing daily. Practice daily visualization and meditation, and practice positive self-talk. Okay? Be more aware. So, my brother, my sisters, I'm saying that you can become a mental alchemist, and as a result, become a financial alchemist. And the manual you're going to use to do that is the Bible. Okay, it's a book of mind science. It's a financial book. It's an alchemical book. But you need to be mentored by someone who can take the Bible and show you it from an occultist standpoint. Because occult means that which is hidden. There's so many things that have been hidden from you and must be revealed to you. So you would know that you have a book of mind science in your house and you have nothing to worry about. And you do not need to look for anyone to come to save you. No one is coming to save you. You already have the saving power within you. You already have the redeeming power within you. And I'm showing you how to redeem yourself. Okay, man, know thyself. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read you the comments here, and then I'm going to come to a close. Okay, but let me thank each and every one of you, okay, for tuning in. Andrew, what was that, mosquito? Okay, mosquito. Okay, where are you from? I'm from the Caribbean. Okay, I'm living in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Okay, let me say greetings to all who send greetings, who send hi, who send good morning. Let me say greetings to you. Okay, and be sure to like and to comment and to get this channel up to 25K. Most of you who've been viewing this channel, you're not subscribed. I'll definitely encourage you to subscribe, and I also encourage you to support this work. Also, your support is very much needed. Okay, and I need your support also for the growth of this channel. Okay, so whatsoever you can do, I'll definitely encourage you to, be part of this great work that we are doing here for humanity. Okay, you are the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost you have here, which means you're 3 in 1. Okay, you're physical, you're psychological, and you're spiritual. So everything you read in the Bible about the Father, the Son, and the Spirit is all about you. Okay, your physical self and your non-physical self and your psychological self. Okay, everything in this world that have been materialized. Okay, it was first a thought. Okay, then it took action. You took action by faith. Okay, and then that action give you a demonstration, which is a manifestation. So it is thoughts, action, and manifestation. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Okay, so everything in the materialistic world, it was for spiritual, but be materialized now in the physical. Okay. Your inner man is the real man. This outer man is just an expression of the inner man. Okay. You see, the reason why each and every one of us in this world was given a book to read. You might choose of your own to read whichever book you want to read. It is because your life itself is a book. You are the living book. And so sometimes you read those written books to help you to really discover that you are the book. Okay? But when you find that book alive, it is because you will find yourself. And you will find also the tree of life, because you will find yourself. And you will also find the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because you will find yourself. And people been looking for the garden of Eden, but you wouldn't find the garden of Eden until you find yourself, because everything is within you. Okay? You cannot go to the moon. It's a hologram. Okay, there are people in this world who believe there's such a thing as the moon landing, but I never believe that. I always believe if man would have landed on the moon, that they would have built a bunch of hotels up there, and only billionaires would have been going there. And the world would have been like what they show in the movie called Illustrum, where all of the good healthcare and all of the things for the best living was the people who was living on the moon, and the people who was down here, they threw down thing from up there down here and them. Okay? So it is a hologram. As a matter of fact, the Maya, this whole world is building to be real. It's all an illusion. Okay? And if you're in touch with your dream self, and you realize that you are the dreamer, and you realize the dreamer and the dream, they're one. Okay? And as you have in this dream, people normally say they dream about Jesus, they dream about God, they dream about heaven, they dream about hell. And they fail to realize that all of that is taking place in their consciousness. It's in your consciousness is happening. Okay? So, God and the devil is your consciousness, it's your awareness. So you have a power inside of you, and you have to exercise that power. Okay, that's how you will know that you are God, because if you do not act as a generator, you will never be able to generate the power. And if you do not operate the power, you'll never know that you are actually the operator of the power. And if you do not destroy the things that needed to be destroyed, like the ego self, and all the doubt and the guilt and the shame and the fear and all the programming you receive when you came over here. When you came over here into this experience, you had no religion. You had no educational institution. All these things were built and given to you. You had no political party. You had none of those things. These are things that were built and given to you. Someone said the moon is made out of cheese. We all know that. Okay. Someone said there is no outside. Well, there's only inside, and the inside is what you see on the outside is a reflection of that which is within. It ain't easy trying to wake up people. You got to be the light of the world. Yeah, it's not easy in trying to wake up people, but once you know you have experience and you experience yourself as that spark, and that spark ignite, you know everything that you say or do, that you will be in the light of the world. Okay, and that is what will give you confidence and surety, because you know that you're speaking your experience to humanity and you're sharing your experience to humanity, knowing that they themselves can have this experience and it will take place inwardly. Okay, someone says sun gaze in the morning and find your Solomon's temple. Yeah, sun gazing is very good in the morning and even late in the evening too. Okay, and the point says find your Solomon temple. As I normally teach that, you know, Solomon is sun man. Okay, is the light that is in you that gonna give you that knowledge and understanding, and also bring into that golden age and bring into an age of abundance. Okay. So everything is definitely within you. That's why I've been teaching the inner sun science and technology to create your reality consciously. Okay, there's an inner sun science that is taking place inside. Most people would believe in solar eclipse. They would believe that the plants need the sun. They would believe that the sun is what brings rain. They believe all of those things, but they do not see all the riches in their sun, man. The light, that spark, that place, that seat of consciousness, the solar plexus. If you could really activate your solar plexus and you connect it with the brain. Some people call it the heart and brain. But before you can get the heart going, you have to have the solar plexus, that place, seat of consciousness. Okay? Once you connect that, I'm telling you, whatsoever you shine upon, it must bring forth. Okay? Big up me elder, enough respect from Grenada/Jamaica. Greeting to my Caribbean brother, wherever you from, whether Jamaica, you from Grenada, once you from the Caribbean, it's big up, big up, big up, big up. And you would know exactly where I'm coming from, because all of us grew up in these kind of colonies and you know how we were raised and how hard it is to break the program. Okay, but I know that the things that I'm doing, the work I'm doing, that it is getting somewhere. I know. Okay, I can see the signs that is telling me I'm getting somewhere. And here and there I might mash some corns. Okay, and ruffle some feathers. But it is because I'm here for the truth. Okay, I mean to say, with me having this human experience, I have to be real. Okay, just like many YouTubers who are doing YouTube, and they know, many of them know that they're well rewarded and so on. And they don't care about what they give you. They give you any kind of junk food, any kind of fast food. You know, they give you anything to feast upon. But I can't help but give you the truth, because when I started with no understanding of how social media really works. All I wanted was to do is share my experience. So I'm going to continue to share my experience. That is why I'm saying to you that, you see, if I do not get the kind of support that I need from the system itself, you would have to be the ones who would have to support the work that I'm doing. Okay, because sometimes the system might only want you to say so much. Okay, and sometimes you the listeners, you might not understand what is going on, but we know what is going on. Okay, there's some censoring and all of these things that do take place sometimes, and so you are the ones who have to stand with us by supporting us in every way. In every way. I remember someone made a comment and said, when I take the honey breathing technique, they say I put it behind a paywall, not understanding how YouTube work and what YouTube policy is all about and so on. Okay, so I really want to educate people along that line. So we work together as a community. Okay, we have to definitely work that way, especially in this age of AI, the age of the mind. I am here to keep you in a place of sanity. I'm here to keep you in a place of being in control of your mind. That's why I'm showing my face. This is not a AI channel. This is not a robot speaking to you. Right now on the internet, the people are getting so much views. They're using, you're not even seeing their face. They're not even interacting with you. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing them. Okay, they're not on a live with you and so on. They take all kind of information and remodel them and put them back all different ways and they give it to you. Sometimes they take information from the smaller channels and because their channel getting bigger and so on, they do that. Okay. Someone say Science of the Mind by Honest Home is a book that changed my life. Okay. Yeah, Science of Mind by Honest Holmes. And many others, okay, who understand, that this thing is all about the mind. Someone said they love the wisdom. I honestly believe wisdom is when we take the knowledge and put it to action. So right now I'm sharing knowledge, but it's real wisdom when we put it to work, because definitely when you put it to work and it starts to work in your life, and it doesn't just happen overnight. When it starts to work in your life and you do not have to worry about anything else, you know what I mean? It's a real good feeling. You know what I mean? I'm saying to you, some people think they have to have $100 million to be happy. Some people think they have to have $10 million to be happy. No. When you do not know, you have to worry and fret and worry about where the next bread is coming from. And, you can definitely live and so on. And you can take care of yourself. And, you don't have to beg and beseech no entity outside of yourself. You don't need to ask or beg God for nothing. Everything is within you. Don't make nobody fool you. Okay, someone says another Sunday of truth. I appreciate you, King. I appreciate you, Queen. Okay, I appreciate you. You're most welcome. We are on this planet to enjoy it. We are on this planet to be overcomers. We are on this planet to be healers. We are on this planet to discover our higher self. We are here to know the reason why we lay down our life in the spiritual world to come to have experience in the physical world, and how we have to rule both worlds, both the physical and the spiritual world, if we do not forget where we come from, if we do not forget with true essence. All the distractions in this world is for you to forget. Do you know how powerful remembrance is? That's why they tell you about the Holy Spirit in the Bible, and they tell about the upper room. This is the upper room. That when you have this upper room experience and you hear the mighty rushing wind, and you experience yourself as tongue of cloven fire over your head, you bust your crown chakra, the divine spark in you erupt. When all of that happened to you, they say you've been empowered from on high, and you're now speaking a new language. And that language is bringing a smile to someone. That language is bringing joy and peace in other people's life. Do you know how good it is when you know that you are a blessing in people's life? You're helping people to think, because it's the hardest thing for people to do is to think. Why you think there's so many churches all around the world with so much congregation? Because people are fearful of the unknown. They're fearful of the unknown. They're fearful of themselves. Someone say, how do you connect your energy, vibration, frequency with Jesus/God from the Bible, but you feel so disconnected from things that are holy and are drawn to chaos since a child? The reason why you feel that way, it is because you cannot join yourself to an idol and at the same time join yourself to your true self. It can't happen. You have to make a choice. It's either you or the image Because Jesus is an image planted in your mind. Even God is an image planted in your mind. The Bible is an image planted in your mind too. So when you fail to realize that the Bible is just a book put together with stories, with a mystical interpretation to it, which only the wise would be able to understand the mysteries that are there. And it is to measure the foolish from the wise. That's why it clearly states that the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. That's a story of the rich and the wise and the foolish, the rich and the poor. These are the two sets of people that's on the planet. Many people normally go around and say, oh, the Bible is true because the things that the Bible says happening, look, they're happening now. Because they are all mental, they are all psychological. So I could program a child from the time their child born to the age of 6, 7, 8 years old, and I can tell you all the things that child could do for the rest of their life because I already programmed that child. So the things that you're saying and you're affirming and they're becoming a hard and objective fact, that is what you're saying is the fulfillment. But you fail to realize that if that is fulfillment, it's the same how you can have things fulfilled in your life by speaking certain things into manifestation in your life. Because you're told that you shall decree a thing and it shall be established. It never say some entity outside itself. You are the one who's going to do it. So the reason why so much people have a lot of trouble and chaos in their life is because they want to mix the old with the new. They want to put new wine in old wine skin. They want to patch the old with the new. You can't accept yourself as being spirit, having a human experience, being spiritual, and you want to hold on to the Bible as literal and secular history, or you want to hold on to it as a religious book. You have to get rid of our religion and realize that the oldest scam in the world is religion. The biggest and oldest scam is religion. Religion is a scam. Someone says, hey, wake me up, please. Well, you already been waking up. Okay, thank you for your words. You appreciate it. It's a blessing. I'm inspired. Thank you very much for your comment. Glad I can inspire someone. Big up to you, my brother. Thank you for acknowledging that this is true. And grand rising to all of you also. Greetings and salutation to you too. Life in the West Indies is not a bed of roses. I would say life, not just in the West Indies, anywhere at all, it's not a bed of roses. But I can tell you, when you awake from the dream of life and you come to know who you are, and you realize that the Bible is a book of mind science and you know how to use it as a book of alchemy, and you use mental alchemy, and you understand it from the angle of mind science, you can live any part of the world and it will be a bed of roses for you. Yeah, it will be a bed of roses for you. Any part of the world, you go. Okay? Someone says, hey, you deserve a private jet. Yeah, this kind of truth need to go all around the world. But, you know, unfortunately, this kind of truth here, you'll always find truth like this, you know, it's always been, you know, oppressed, and they try to shut these kind of things down. Okay, but you see, the thing is that even if you tell people, show people the light, some people the light will blind them, while some people it will open up the way for them. Okay, so you could be speaking the truth and it's like parables to people. Okay, but I'm only doing this because this is what I born in this world to do. Okay, this bring, you know, a sense of peace and fulfillment to me. Okay, Down syndrome, Jesus, Batty boy, I don't understand that. Okay, silver and gold I have none for day, but what I do have I give unto today. That story, I think I mentioned about it in a video in Acts 3, where they say silver and gold have I none, but such have I. That is teaching you that you have a power that creates money. that was a financial, I think I did a master class on that. Okay, it's a financial lesson it is teaching you then Acts 3. When they said the man asked, he asked for money. He didn't ask for physical healing. Because most people read that and they believe that is a physically crippled man. No, that is a man who's financially crippled and he couldn't stand on his feet financially. You see, when you understand the Bible is a book of alchemy, okay, when you understand it scientifically, when you understand it magically, when you understand it esoterically, when you understand it metaphysically, when you understand it from all of those different angles, even when you understand mythology, because if you're going to understand the Bible, you have to understand mythology, you have to understand psychology, you have to understand physiology, biology, you have to understand so many different things. I'm trying to remember all of those things. Okay. When you deal with the planets, I'm trying to bring the word there too. Okay, you have to understand all of those. Okay. So you have to understand the stars, you have to understand the planets and so on. Okay. I from think it is the rapture true. Lovely question, okay, from my Caribbean person here, Christy. This person asks if the rapture is true. True. The way how the church system explain rapture for you, it is not true. But what they're referring to as the rapture is basically an out-of-body experience that you will have. And when you have that out-of-body experience, you will realize the virgin birth and the resurrection is the same event. This is the event that you would experience. You will be changed. And what I'm saying to you, I'm speaking from experience. You'll be changed from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye. That twinkling of an eye is because there's an eye in you that is closed. And in less than a second, within a second, that eye will be open. That's your awakening it is talking about. Okay? It's not you gonna flip out of your body like that. Okay? It's your awakening. And when that eye in you awake, your IQ level will go to another level. I'm speaking from experience. When that eye awake within you, then you will understand why that symbol is on the US dollar, the eye above the pyramid. Okay? It's the eye of the mystics. Okay? There's certain families and bloodline on this planet that would have those experience when other people would not have that experience. Whether you want to call them the blue blood or whatever, okay. But I am telling you, everything that I'm saying to you is from experience, okay. So everything that you learn in Christianity, okay, it could be explained to you another way. So to say, let someone say, okay, well, the rapture is not true, you have to explain that it's not true the way how they're interpreting it. To say you're going to flip out your body like that, no. You have an out-of-body experience, but no one else would know. That's why I said two would be in a bed, one taking and the other left. That was my experience. I was in a bed with a woman, lying, sleeping. And when I had my awakening experience, when I was shaking, like a mighty earthquake, when I heard the mighty rushing wind, when I had the experience of fire, myself as fire, when that spark ignites within me and so on, I burst my crown chakra and come into the invisible wall and experience myself as pure consciousness. A woman was there too, one taking the other left. You see, I think someone's here says, Timothy Riley, I think it's funny how man is the battery to the fallen. I don't quite understand that, what he means there. Funny how man is the battery to the fallen. I don't quite understand. But anyway, what I can tell you, that God descend into humanity, which means God die to have this human experience as you. And what is the death? It's a state of amnesia. It's a state of forgetfulness. It's like a state of hibernation. Okay, but the time will come when you're awake. So, with me being awakened, I am telling you to learn to believe more in yourself. and to understand that your mental power and your financial power is the same thing. And understanding the Bible from a certain angle will definitely empower you. Okay, that's what I'm really teaching you here. I will watch your video, Religion of the Impossible, several times yesterday. That video is everything. Yeah, because when you really study Christianity and all the other religions, religion of the impossible, they want you to live a life that is impossible. There's no way no one in this world could be just strictly good. Don't make no one fool you. And people normally say, God is good. And then when a preacher said the congregation will say all the time. And then the preacher will say all the time. And they'll say God is good. That is a lie. Because that's the same God say, go and kill everybody. Woman, children, even the animal. Kill them and burn them. Go kill everybody. And one man didn't kill everybody. And God cursed a man because he didn't kill everybody. You see? So, you see, it's always be contradictory. And it will always be the religion of the impossible. It is very much impossible. You know what I mean? I can remember preachers and things growing up. I listened to preachers. And preachers will give you the impression that they stay pure, sexually speaking, and then they're married and they get a wife. And they never touch another woman. They never masturbate. They never do anything. They're just so perfect. It's such a lie. So much hypocrisy. You know what I mean? But when you understand the Bible as mind science, when you understand it that it's a book of alchemy, when you really understand alchemy, that's the main thing I want you to get from this, alchemy. You know what I mean? And if you want me to teach more about the Bible being an alchemical book and a magic book, I'll do it. Because it is. Okay? So, they could have you in a religion of the impossible, while I can teach you how to understand the possible. Okay, and understand that the real religion is self-realization, while self-realization is not a religion. So they swap self-realization for religion. They give you religion. All you have to know is swap religion for self-realization. So get rid of religion and accept self-realization. But it's very hard for you to get rid of religion because you're impressed on the subconscious mind from a youth. So it's gonna be something that will take time. So you have to start with yourself first, okay? Christy Blois. So why our pastor saying Jesus is coming back? What else you want them to say? If they can't show you Jesus, like for example, I tell someone to say, show me Jesus, they can't show you Jesus. Why? Because Jesus is imaginary. So it means if I have to imagine Jesus, then my imagination was before Jesus. It makes a common sense. And then they always use the word BC, which means before Christ. If Christ is your savior and they're using the word BC, before Christ, well then before Christ, what was the savior then? That's why you have to understand your Christ consciousness is what will save you. When you understand the Christus, that oil that is in you, when you really understand it through an experience, then you know that these pastors are liars. Okay, that's why they will just keep saying he's coming back, he's coming back, he's coming back, he's coming back, he's coming back soon. But I always see the sun coming back every morning. It always go missing in the evening and then it come back in the morning. And the sun could walk up on the water. And the sun could turn water into other form. Then I tell you the sun does bring rain. Take it and turn it into a different form, condensation and so on. And then bring it back. You see, my brother, my sisters, everything I said about God is about you. There's nothing that God could do that you can't do. Nothing. Everything is said about God, you could do it in your imagination. Just think about that. You could go through wall in your imagination. You could swim the ocean in your imagination. You could dive in the deepest part of the ocean in your imagination. You could appear and disappear in your imagination. You could bring back someone to life in your imagination. You could do all these things in your imagination. Do you realize that when a doctor is working on you. The doctor have to operate by a certain amount of faith. Do you realize, like for example, I remember I had an operation and I was unconscious. I didn't know anything. That's like a form of death. And then they put it in a way that at a certain time you're gonna come back, because whatever they put in your body is gonna weigh off one thing, and then you're gonna come back at a certain time and be conscious again. So if you do not realize that God and man are one, you always live a life in confusion. Okay? So pastors are lying to you. Okay? Someone said that one happened twice. Bless up. You can only walk on water in your spiritual state. That's why I say you could do it in your imagination. That's why all of these things written about Jesus is about your imagination. Okay? So it's not about some man who existed thousands of years ago. It's all about your imagination and how you could use your imagination. That's why he says that all things was made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. That is in St. John chapter 1. Everything that was made, it was first imagined, it was first a thought, it was first an idea, it was first in your mind. Someone said, isn't that making image? So how money could have been printed if someone did not to make an image in their mind? Everything is formed from an image in your mind. Even your words that you now use here, isn't that making image? Wasn't it you that make this image right here that says it? And I'm reading the image. Do you know it's just a sign, a symbol, and I'm reading the symbol? Words are signs and symbol. Numbers are signs and symbol. Someone says here, where the Mary Jane, bro. I don't know what Mary Jane they're talking about it, okay? The only thing I can guarantee you is that you are the Virgin Mary that will bring forth. There's no other Virgin Mary that will bring forth. You're the one who's bringing forth. The salary you get in every month, that is what you are bringing forth. The house you live in, that's what you bring forth. The vehicle you drive, that is what you bring forth. It is you giving birth. You being an employer or employee, it is you giving birth. It's what you bring forth. It's an immaculate conception. And it is all because of alchemy. Okay? So when you understand that the Bible is a book of alchemy, you will understand it to be a book of mind science. Then you will understand there's mental alchemy. So money is mental alchemy. And the Bible is mental alchemy, which means once you understand the Bible the right way, it have to bring you money. It's a magic book. That's why you're told that I am, which means I am whatsoever I believe myself to be. For as a man thinketh in his subconscious mind, so is he. I love my imagination on the ground while being chased in my dream. Yes, you can do all of these things because the Jima in man is God, and you and the Jima are one. The Jima and the Jima is one. Someone say, is it original? I don't know what they're talking about here. Okay, that's the Virgin Mary metaphor. Yeah. It's a metaphor, yet it is literal when it takes place in a man, because it is the secret of a man giving birth, but it's an inner birth. It's a spiritual birth. You see, everything in the Bible, you have to answer yes and no, and then you explain it. That's why you don't argue with Christians. You accept what they say, and then you make it make sense for them. That's why I have a channel named Make It Make Sense. You explain it in a way that will make more sense to them. So people who normally get an argument with Christians is people who do not really truly understand how you really deal with a Christian. Don't ever disagree with a Christian. Don't ever disagree. Agree with them and take exactly what they say and make more sense of it for them. Okay? Because if I have to say the virgin story never really happened, then I will have to be saying that it never happened to me. And it did happen to me. I gave birth to a son. Okay? And that birth came from a pregnancy. That pregnancy is an inward pregnancy. And I gave birth. It was an awakened imagination. Someone says here, even the dollar, the image in your mind. Of course, the image is in your mind, the dollar. For example, many people in the Caribbean, especially Rastafarians, they never used to want to use money because the queen head is on the money. So this is the queen head on the money. But when you really understand and look more deeply, your head is on the money. You have to put your head on the money. The fact that the queen head is on the money, or someone's head is on the money, it is telling you that your head is there on the money, and the money have to do with the head because they have nothing that you have. They're going to the same toilet to shit like you. They're going to the same bath to take a shower like you. They have to get the same sleep like you. They have to eat the same food like you. They have to breathe the same air like you to survive. And they're going to die just like you. There's only one power. So even the dollar, the image in your mind. So if money have to be in your mind, and let me say this, and if you can hold the money in your hand like this, and it is a physical fact, and you're going to create a psychological state, then I'm telling you that a psychological state must create a physical fact. It's basic common sense. A psychological state must create a physical fact. That's why you have to create a psychological state by understanding the Bible the right way, the financial way, the alchemy way, and the mental way. That's what I'm saying. That's why I name my video like that. That's what I want you to get out of what I'm saying. Okay? He said there is more than one part of the mountain, but only if can see it. Well, for that, I can say all religion is leading you to one path, and that path is basically self-realization. And all religion have a secret teaching. All. And all religion competing for your mind. And once they get your mind, it's a scam. So you have to learn to play the game and win in the game. Okay? I want to come to a close just now. Very, very soon I'm going to close. Okay? It's a minute and 1 hour and 27 minutes now. Okay, wow, this guy is on point. Thank you very much. Mind comes before the physical, of course. So everything in the physical came from the psychological. Everything in the physical comes from the non-physical. So all is mind. So it is very stupid for someone to argue with me when I say that the Bible is a book of mind science. I've entertained so many people. So many people I've entertained them when I tell them that the Bible is mind science, and they argue with me, failing to realize that the things that they're saying is the expression of a thought. They fail to realize if they respond to me, they prove me right. If they do not respond, they still prove me right, because a word is the expression of a thought, and action is also the expression of a thought. Okay? So, my brother and my sisters, I really want to thank you all very much for tuning in, and I want to encourage you to continue to support this work, okay? Because, for example, let me say this to all the people who are watching, okay? I might be able to come and do this live and speak with you, but at the end of the day, doesn't matter how good your videos are, YouTube still have an office where they operate from, and based on how much people they push your message out there too would mean how much people would respond. Okay, so whoever people are here now, I'm asking of you to share, like, comment, do all of these things, and support this work in any way you can. Make sure you support the work, so I'll be able to do the things I want to do, and even say the things that I wanna say. As long as I do not go against YouTube policy, I just want to stick within the policy and do the things that I'm supposed to do and say the things that I'm supposed to say. okay, from my heart. Okay, and I can't do it by myself alone. I need your support. I need your help. Okay, you have to work with me, to grow this channel. Let us get this channel to 25K and get it moving. Okay, because this kind of knowledge is needed all around the world. Because if you can see that AI is needed all around the world, then you can see that this is needed all around the world too. And for those of you who would have listened to my video on AI, if you like me to do more videos on the impact of AI and how you have to prepare yourself for AI, I'll definitely do that also. But, it's very important to get your feedback and to know the things that you like to, to hear me speak about. I can speak more on the AI, I could speak more on alchemy, I could speak more on manifesting things in your life. Okay, we can speak more on finances, whatsoever is your desire. Don't be afraid to comment. You don't have to comment in the live. You can go down below after the live and so on, and you can comment, let me know. Okay, because at the end of the day is what you, the audience, really want. Okay, what you want, I'll push it out there to help you, because this channel is to answer all of your questions, especially biblical Christians. You grew up with the Bible and you grew up in religion. Okay, because that's the angle I'm coming from. Someone who escaped religion, someone who escaped the prison. Okay, someone who been institutionalized just like you, and I escaped the prison. And I want to help you to escape the prison too. Okay, I'm sharing the escape plan with you. Okay, that's why I always say, remember, everything is mental, everything is psychological, everything was first a thought, it was first an idea. Your mind is your greatest possession. So next time you put your hand on the Bible, see it as a metaphysical book. See it as a book of alchemy. See yourself as an alchemist. See the Bible as a book of mind science. And see it as a financial manual that is teaching you how to find your Canaan land within you, how to find the pearl of great price within you, how to become a conscious and a deliberate creator, and how to live your life on this planet as God and man. That's why the entire story that tells you that God became man, and you think is a special man of 2,000 years ago. It is you who became man. No, you must awake from the dream and realize that you are God, and humble yourself as a man, even to the death on this cross. Okay? Find yourself and see yourself equal with God, and live a miraculous life. What do I mean by that? Live a magical life by practicing your magic. Most people don't practice their magic, and most people don't read their magic book. Read your magic book, which is the Bible, and practice your magic daily. And don't look out. Don't look on the outside for any outside entity. True magicians don't have any outside entity. Decide and depend on any outside power. The power is within you. So, with 33 people, I'm going to end there. That's my number. We're going to stand that number, 333. Okay. Let's stay at that number and walk with that number of 333. Walk with that number. Use it to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I want to say peace. Love you all. Whatever information you need, you can find it down below. So with that being said, I just want to say peace. Love you all. Out.